Okay, thanks so much for joining us again. Today we're going to be going over major gains with strategic partnerships. And this is something that we absolutely love here at BigMajority.com. This is one of the most powerful tactics and strategies that you can use to grow your business and to really reach a high level clientele. Okay? It's massively powerful and you're going to really enjoy the value that we're offering today. So let's just get started. What are strategic partnerships? Well, on a basic level, they are just simply exchanges of value that benefit all parties involved. Now, I know that sounds very generic, but bear with me for a second and I'll dive into a little bit further for you. Strategic partnerships are really opportunities for you to leverage other people's resources in exchange for value. And in return, that individual that you are leveraging their value will be able to benefit from the value that you create from their resource. Now, that might have sounded a little complicated or complex, but we're going to break that apart and isolate each individual element for you to really understand. So, but first let's go back into the power of strategic partnerships. They really allow you to take a quantum leap in your business, in your client acquisition, and the resources available to you. It really is a complete mind shift of what most people think is possible in their business. You know, when you think about growing your customers, you think about doing it over time. When you think about increasing your product line, you think about doing it over time. You know, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, 10 years. But with strategic partnerships, you can leverage communities, resources, products, services, audience, customer bases. You can leverage all of those things that someone else has put the effort into creating and building for your own benefit. And in return they get a little slice of the pie in return. That's really what strategic partnerships allow you to do. They allow you to achieve quantum leaps in your business. And let's let's just break it down. What's the formula of strategic partnerships? You have your resource, you have your distribution, and you have your demand. Your resource, I just kind of hinted at it. Your resource is going to be whatever you or the partner that you're looking to working with is offering. It can be so many things. It can be a product. It can be a service. It could be something, whether you're in e-commerce, it could be, I'm just going to throw out some examples. It could be clothing. It could be widgets and gadgets, technology. It could be iPhone cases. It could be anything. It could be a real estate, property. It could be a sales team. It could be people, human resources. So your resources they're very malleable. They could be anything. Anything that's going to offer an opportunity to create value. And then you have your distribution. So if you watch one of our previous presentations, we touch on distribution a little bit in developing your marketing strategy. Your distribution is really how are you getting your product or service out there. And different companies have and businesses and individuals have already created a captured audience. They've built the community. They've put the time and effort and resources into creating that. And that could be you. That could be what you're bringing to the table to someone who has a product or service already. So the distribution is really a tapped audience, a controlled audience, an audience that is there and engaged, that is most likely to buy whatever you're selling. Because the next element is demand, because the demand is there. Now, you might be able to stimulate demand if you own distribution, if you own a community or an audience, or you have a network or a cohort or a sector or a segment of a group that you or the person who you're deciding to work with, that they have a platform where they can help stimulate that demand, or maybe you can help stimulate demand for their business. This is something that is crucial to the other two pieces, the resources, the distribution, is the demand. It's the willingness to buy. It's the need, the desire for the resource. Okay? If you have all three elements, you have a profitable strategic partnership. And they are a lot simpler than you may think. Here's a super quick example. Imagine that I sell a book. I sell a book on how to create strategic partnerships. And then that's a resource. I go to a blogger who writes about small business hacks. They have curated an audience. They have an email list of 20,000 people. They have distribution. I connect with them and they say, okay, let's figure out how we can work together. I create a marketing plan. I put together some emails, some collateral for them to send out to their email list. I set up some links to track all the metrics. I create a landing page. And when they distribute, they also add a review to the book. They're helping to create demand as well. So they're doing distribution and demand. And I'm just providing the resource. So in exchange for the profits, because obviously this could be a paid transaction, they might receive a certain percentage of the purchases of that book. That's a very basic example. I have the resource, the partner has the distribution, and together we collaborate to incite demand. Now, there's so many ways to think about this. I mean, you really have to get creative about it, because once you really understand the formula, you'll see it everywhere. You'll see it everywhere. You'll see it on Shark Tank. You'll see it on the morning news. You'll see it in the newspaper. You'll think about it in the next ad that you look at in a magazine or a newspaper. They're everywhere. And the key is to figure out how you can leverage them for your own benefit. So let's take it a step further. It's really about the value, the three modes of value. Okay, we touched on adding a resource, providing distribution, and increasing demand. You really just have to look at them as individual pieces. Okay, you break them up into these three separate elements, and you figure out which one do you have. You know, you're kind of playing Sherlock Holmes and looking into your businesses and breaking it down into your the basic parts. And when you find opportunities, you're doing the same for your potential partners. And you're going to have to tell that story, right? Because not everyone understands what a strategic partnership is. But they will immediately see the value because it's just so obvious once you really get it, what it is about. You know, instead of trying to build a product or a service, build an audience, and figure out a way to build demand, you just go to a business who already has that. And you're creating an opportunity to add value, whether you're bringing the resource, whether you're bringing the distribution, or whether you're helping to create the demand. You know, these are all separate individual parts. You could be bringing one or two of them, you know? So it really is about how you get creative, how you put the pieces together, and how you communicate that value to your potential partner. And I can't stress enough how powerful it is, because if you're able to put a lens on your eye, and when you're building your business and you're meeting people and you're doing marketing activities and you're talking to clients, it really is a all winner take all environment. I mean, there's just so much opportunity for business and strategic partners. I mean, finders keepers. I put that as a header because, you know, it's one of those things that'll just put a smile on your face. You're just like, wow, there's an opportunity there for us to do a partnership, and they'll come so easily. I mean, on a basic level, I want you to try this. Go at your next, if you go to a networking event or a meetup group, or someone invites you to a happy hour or anything like that. That's business professional, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's casual. And something comes up in terms of business, look for opportunities for a strategic partnership. Obviously, you want to be you want to be casual about it, or you don't want to you know do any faux pas, but uh, try it out, see what happens, be curious, take a step forward in the right direction, and you might be pleasantly surprised just how easy it is to find strategic partnerships and to execute them. And once you do one, it's business as usual. I mean, right now it may sound like a lot. Right now it might seem like there's a lot of steps involved, a lot of question marks. But really, it's just like any other aspect of your business or growing a business. Once you do it once, it's just a learning experience. You may stumble, you may fumble or fall down in the beginning, but it's a learning process. Sometimes you hit it out of the park on the first one, and sometimes you don't. But it's so powerful. I can't stress it enough that next thing you know, you've got multiple strategic partnerships going on at the same time. And you can get really, really creative. And you'll be able to see that all of a sudden you're taking major gains in your business and your revenue is increasing steadily. So I really want you to take that into account as you're considering getting started or broaching the subject with potential partners. And again, they're everywhere. If you have an abundance mentality, you will start to see partnerships everywhere. It's really about taking that first step. It's about going ahead and broaching the subject with someone and testing the waters and seeing if it's something that you can build into your business model and do on a daily basis and make it scalable for you. Or maybe it's something you do once a year or twice a year. So it's really what you make of it, but there's so much out there in terms of adding value. And again, it's not just about you taking value, it's about adding value. It's about finding an opportunity for you to add value to someone's business or what they have going on, and also an opportunity for you to create value for yourself. So it's a mutually beneficial arrangement, and it's not taken advantage of nearly enough. So if you have an abundance mindset, you'll be pleasantly surprised at what you find. So go ahead and schedule a free strategy session today with us. We'd be happy to discuss how you can leverage strategic partnerships for your business and make major gains. As always, thanks so much for listening. This has been BigMajority.com. Go ahead and schedule that free strategy session today. We'll talk to you soon.